This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Could you live with someone, Natalie, again right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like a romantic partner, the man that whisks your heart away. I mean, it's
not if I can help it.
You get stuck in your own ways, don't
It's
you?
not that. I just really, really value my own space.
Me too.
And you know, I've lived in share houses. I've lived with a partner. I've lived with one flatmate, and I've lived on my own. And I love living on my own more than anything else.
You know what the thing is? Also, because like, just say, Natalie, you get home and someone's talking at you. It's like, oh, shut up. I've got Siri and Alexa, but they don't speak unless I speak to them. And that's
It's
what
not
I
even
like.
the talking for me. It's the space. It's having somebody else in my space.
Yeah.
For a while, a couple of years ago, a friend's sister was moving from Broome down here for a job, and she had about 3 months where she had a house organised, but it wasn't available for 3 months, and she stayed with me. She's an amazing girl, just incredible. Most weekends she was away
But get out
as
of my
well.
house.
But just having somebody else in my space, like I come home, there's someone on my couch. I'm like.
That's when you have to do like passive aggressive. Did you move that cushion? It's fine if you did, but did you move that?
I know.
Okay.
And it's like she did nothing wrong, but it just made me really appreciate how much I love not living with someone else.
Yeah, so my whole history was share house, and then the biggest share house was Big Brother, and then after that living alone, and I absolutely love that. So I just love this story. It's the Fremantle Dockers, Shaun.
Yeah.
The draftees. How's this for a share house? You've got the new draftees Murphy Reid and Charlie Nichols, and then they've moved in with Andrew Brayshaw and Caleb Sarong. I'm just thinking one thing: 4 best friends out on the town drinking Cosmos.
It's such an interesting thing for those young people to be put into a situation.
And every footy club does this, don't they? Now?
They've been doing it. So shout out to the Urquharts who let their son Luke go to the airport yesterday. He was flying over to North Melbourne, right? So so he goes straight in and lives with the equivalent of Andy Brayshaw and Caleb Sarong. Because you know, think about this. You've watched these guys on TV.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you're going to live with this person.
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing,
And then
isn't
they've got to take you in, and both those guys who you mentioned, Nate, have got recently engaged, so that their partners have to be a part of this as well.
I remember during uni, this isn't, of course, footballers, but during uni there was this guy that, they used to have the notices. It was like the internet for poor people.
Yeah.
It's on like a billboard, and then you pull the little bit of paper off.
The notice board at uni.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I found a house like that.
Yeah. So they found this house. Anyway, so this guy moved in, and it was probably a week later on, and he comes to uni and he goes, "Oh my God, I found the most shocking thing." We said, "What?" And he goes, "The guy I'm living with, who has got the rental of the house, so he's in charge of the house, is a ventriloquist."
Oh, no, no one needs to live like that.
And he said he walked out one time and there's this guy with a ventriloquist doll on his lap. And he's just gone and he said that was more disturbing than if he was doing some sex crime.
Yes.
It was just too much
that's
for
as
him.
bad as it gets. One of my friends moved to London and found an amazing room in this incredible house, moved in with this woman, and it turns out that she was Salman Rushdie's ex-wife. Now, this is when Salman Rushdie, so he's the writer.
Yeah, wasn't he in exile?
He had a fatwa put out against him, which is a threat to his life. But so they were no longer married. He didn't live in this house, but there was a police watch on this house. So they had constant police guard because of the association.
Yeah.
So she moved into it. It's an amazing house, and she really liked this girl and got on great with her. But constantly there was the threat of death.
This is crazy.
Well, that's amazing. Did you get a cheaper rate?
I know,
But
right?
think about this as well. You could have been sharing a house with someone back in the day, and then on the news
And now
tomorrow
they're
turn up
famous.
and they're like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Or
I know. Oh my
infamous,
God,
Dexter.
sure.
Yeah. Think about the living situations that you've been in, and think about the most memorable one. The one where you go like, I used to live with A, or I used to live with this group of.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Obviously, all my former flatmates are going to ring up and say that they used
what a
to
dream!
live
What
with
a
me.
dream! They say. What, we circle around her house like
When
seagulls
she
to a
was
chip.
when she was no one.
Yeah.
Leanne's in Belia. Hello, Leanne.
So I was living by myself at the time, and I had a friend of a friend who had split up with his wife, and he needed somewhere to crash just until he found his own dig to live in.
Okay.
He was a really good housemate, clean, tidy,
nice.
ex-army.
Yeah.
And, we ended up talking one night. I was sort of getting dinner, and I was, because I'd noticed that the manhole that we had in the roof in the house, there started to be more and more fingerprints on the manhole.
Oh, you shouldn't be fiddling around with your manhole.
No.
I was sitting there just looking at it and just going, don't know what's going on up there, but, didn't think too much of it. Sort of none of my business. And, so I just sort of said to him, what did you used to do in the army? And he said to me, sniper.
That's next level.
Because I was sitting there just going, oh, my God, I'm living with a hired gun.
So what was with the manhole?
He put
hiding weapons up there.
He had weapons.
He had guns in his manhole.
In her
your manhole.
That's got to be uncomfortable.
Oh, my God. How many guns? Did you see the guns?
No, I didn't. But, that was where they were stashed. And, I was pondering, and it was sort of like, look, he's only staying for a short time.
Yes.
I sat there and just went, look, I can either really stress about this and ask him to move out, or I can just actually sleep.
Don't stay on the right side of him, Leanne.
This is the thing, Leanne, because you would have said, okay, I need you to move out. You would have gone for a walk, and then he would have shot you dead a kilometre away.
Just a red dot on your forehead at all times.
He might be on the roof. He's up on your roof, like pinging people around, and it's like murder's 5 kilometres away.
Leanne.
Oh, my God. That is insane.
That is insane. Thank you. Simone's in Lansdale. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Simone. So what was in your manhole?
I was going to say mine's nowhere near as dangerous as that, but it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
I went to London when I was 20, and I was literally quite an innocent 20, and I ended up living with 3 6-foot skinheads and had to sing the Chelsea song every morning when I woke up.
What do you mean? So they got up in the morning, they
sang the Chelsea song before they got away.
And you were too frightened not to do it?
I was too scared. There was 3 6-foot skinheads every morning.
And you're going, I don't know the words.
Innocent 20-year-old. Yeah, no, it was pretty scary because I was so innocent when I was only 20.
I just love the fact that you were there terrified at table singing
Absolutely
the Chelsea football song.
Do
you still remember the words, Simone?
Chelsea, boys in blue, Chelsea, Chelsea, we love you.
I mean, it's not a complicated song.
But I like the passion because you can hear it. You're singing to survive.
Lily's in Freo. Hello.
So it wasn't me, but it was my family.
Yeah.
So we've got a granny flat out the back that we would do like long-term Airbnbs with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, right.
So we'd have families from all over the world come stay, but once we had this one guy come stay for 6 months, and he was a bit weird and he would never come out and he always had the curtains down and, we just never saw him. And Mum once saw him out at the bin and asked if he was okay and he just told us he was sick.
Oh,
okay.
So he had his own kitchen, bathroom, everything like that, so he never had to come to the main house.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was completely down there, had his own access from the driveway.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one day the range hood in there exploded and we heard the explosion and my parents went out there. And he was actually using it as a drug house.
He was cooking up.
Yeah, he was cooking and
You're in a
making
meth lab
his own
in your granny
drugs.
flat.
Yeah, and he was fully selling and making drugs out of our granny flat.
How good?
How good.
Yeah.
But
no, Sean, that's not the right response.
How bad?
I want to know, people
Future
weren't coming
reference.
over to pick up, were they? Or he was making big lots to sell to
You
someone
would have
else?
noticed that, I think.
Well, we didn't really know what they were coming for, but we just knew that they were, like, dropping stuff off, and he was taking massive loads to the bin as well. And we just...
Geez, popular.
He was using it. I know.
It's the beauty of a separate entry,
He
isn't
orders
it?
a lot from Amazon.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
The Macquarie Dictionary 2024 Word of the Year has been announced, and I, straight away when I read it, was disappointed until I
It's
discovered...
not a word we've ever heard.
Never. No.
Used.
Cosy Living was last year.
Yeah, Cosy Lives.
Yeah, Cosy Lives. Yeah, so that was last year, and it's cost of living, of course. But the new word of the year is full on, and we know that people certain gravitate towards certain words. Meghan Markle, she had a word of the year when her documentary came out. This is her.
My word for that year was truth.
Truth. Sean, truth.
Give me strength.
Yeah, but no, that did give her strength.
Okay.
This is going to give us strength because we're going to feel this. This is so exactly what's happening in the moment. It's called Enshittification. Now, that's right. Enshittification basically means that everything that was good is now shit. And I'm talking
glad you
about
explained it,
food.
Dave. I'm
I'm talking about services of businesses. Everything.
So it's the gradual
generally.
decline of standards,
And
basically.
we have seen the enshittification of this society and world since COVID. I feel like it has dramatically dropped.
Any business that wants a leg up or wants to be a market leader has good service. They're rare.
Sean, I was at...
They're rare.
I was popping by a homeware store somewhere in the city, and there's a homeware store that's been around for many, many years, and I'm surprised that it's still available.
Okay.
And anyway, they had like a little tea light candle holder there for $2 and like a little bargain bin. I went, that's not bad. So I went to swing in there and get some, and I went up to the front counter, and I was met by the king and queen of Enshittification. The two people that were working at the counter, a guy and a girl, both probably, 18 or so.
Yep.
Didn't stop their conversation about their weekend and looked at me as if I was bothering them. And I apologised for buying something.
I hate that. Yeah,
I apologise for buying something.
Yeah.
So that's just face-to-face service, not even internet service. This originally comes from internet providers laying everything out for you and then basically getting you caught and then dropping the service.
Well, my internet provider stopped providing email. So they then outsourced the email. And it's like, you're an internet provider. That's just a normal part of the package. But so now you've got to deal with two parties. Yeah. You've got to pay for two parties instead of it all being combined. If there's a problem, you've got to go through two people to get it sorted. It's just Enshittification.
Enshittification. On the flip side of that, which is absolutely linked, when I've spoken to some guys who own some businesses that is very, very successful, the thing that stands out should be the basic. Their thing is they just give the people service.
Yes.
That's all. That's it, right?
Yeah. Fix the problem, basically.
We've dropped so far
Sean,
that their businesses are thriving on the fact that is someone wants something, we'll help you out.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's cheaper.
We stuff it up,
cheaper.
We'll just come and fix it.
You can't get the staff anymore because there's demand for labour as well.
I've been a customer of a certain company that a lot of people here in Australia use, but yet of recent times, because of certain things with their business model, they have lost a lot of customers because they're giving something else.
So they should be working harder.
They should be working harder. So 7 years ago, I think, when I was living over the road at Subiaco, when I was waiting for my apartment to get fixed, these people came in and set up this service, and they had a technician there, had a chat with him, showed me how it works, blah, 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 and then left. Now, fast forward to now. The service now, because I've been with them so long, it requires new technology. So I've been sent the new technology. However, that technology they sent me is faulty. So then the next step for that is I said to them, can you send out a technician, or can you send me a new box or a technician to come out and service the thing? And they said, yep, we can't. They said, we don't service your area. Now, I live in Mayland.
It's not exactly.
I'm not out in the country. So I said to them, how do you not service
exactly Panawanica.
I said, sorry, how do you not service my area? No, so they don't service.
What area do you service?
They don't service any area. So now, from their solution from sending me a faulty product is that I now have to find a technician that is authorised to fix that product and then pay for it and then submit a reimbursement from them.
Yeah, can you imagine the reimbursement?
Something that has not even started. Yeah. I haven't even used it yet.
Yeah.
And I said, then this has to be against consumer law.
And they said,
but
no, it's not Enshittification.
It's Enshittification.
That's it.
Now, at least you've got a word for it. Michelle's in Coogee. Hello.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Wonderful, Michelle.
So, Michelle, we've never ever heard of, Enshittification before, but don't you feel like it is the word of the year?
I love it.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I was straight on. I'm like, I definitely have one for that. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So recently we purchased a portable spa from a well-known store.
Yes.
And went to pick it up and brought it home. And I have 2 young kids, so they had their bathers on, ready, very excited. And there was a pump that we had to plug in and attach to the spa to first inflate it. As soon as we plugged in the pump, it threw up an error, and we Googled, YouTubed everything.
Yes.
It's a fairly common spa, and tried to find fixes for it. Nothing. So I called the store, told them what was happening. Came back to me and said, you'll have to bring it back in. I was like, that's no problem, we'll drop it back tomorrow, because it was a Friday evening. Went back in Saturday morning, expecting that, we'd be able to just come out with a brand new one, given that we've just took it out of the box.
Of course.
Brought it back in, and they said I had to fill out a warranty form, and it'd have to be sent away, and it could be a couple of months before.
Oh, are you kidding me?
They come back to us.
I'm enraged.
No,
so
this isn't
right. That was 7 weeks ago.
No.
And I still have no spa, and I haven't heard back from them yet.
This is a consumer affairs issue.
Sean and I were just saying, Sean and I were just saying that What it should be, as easy as it is for you to buy or access a service, it should be that easy if you have a problem with that service for that problem to be a solution. So
Michelle,
it should be this.
Yeah, you've actually got rights on this.
Yes, you do.
So Consumer Affairs says that if something doesn't work, you as the consumer have the option to get a refund, to get it exchanged, or to get it fixed, right? So you should have been able to just get it exchanged straight away.
Oh my God, you got to fight to
Michelle,
the highest hill
you
for this,
take
Michelle,
them down.
and we will fight with you.
Yeah.
Luke's in Bayswater. Hello.
Enshittification, Luke.
Oh, I've got a ripper for you. So we've had brand new footpaths done in our backyard. Had an issue with a unnamed service. They've come through, said that they were going to fix said service.
Yep.
Thought it was going to be a nice, simple fix. Came home from work one day and they dug up 15 square metres of our footpath. Now, when I say they tried to put it back together, they tried to put it back together in context of there was a square pattern on the footpath and it was turned into a diamond pattern. Basically.
What looked better?
The rest of it. Had to redo the whole thing.
Let's go to Joe in Cardiff. Hi, Joe.
Hi, guys.
Enshittification, Joe.
What have you experienced?
I love it. It just so describes so many experiences I've had with trades of late trying to do renovations.
Yeah. Oh, renos.
I was attempting to get a leak, a minor, well, it was about a metre-long leak from my patio, between my patio and my gutter fixed.
Yes.
So I got out some roofing plumbers and the first guy that came out ran round and ended up causing a whole lot of more damage to my patio. He dinted all the tin and he used an expanding foam.
Yes.
So instead of having about a metre-long leak, I now had about 10 metres worth of leaks across the patio.
No,
that's
he made it more leaky.
That's definitely worse.
Yeah.
So the company then said that they would look at replacing the tin. The tin, it was no longer manufactured, so they had to find a company that would make it from scratch.
God.
And I've been promised on various occasions that they're coming out, and then the morning of, I'd get a message to say that they weren't going to be turning up because I've been sent to another job. So I've had about 12 days off work. Waiting for trades to turn up.
No, you have not.
That haven't turned up.
And last Friday when they did turn up, they took out the 2 pieces of tin after it took them about 3 hours to figure out how to do so. And
claw hammer, rip it out a nail, poke the tin.
I now have a gaping hole in the
Oh, don't say that.
because the tin doesn't fit.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Time to catch up with Fox Footy's Matthew Pavlich.
Yes.
Our Matthew Pavlich, by the way.
Hi, Pav.
Hey, Pav.
Firstly, where have you guys been? You don't call, you don't write, you don't even
Hey, settle down,
you don't
celebrity
even send me a
thighs.
DM on Instagram.
I do so DM. I send you so many photos. You don't respond to any of them.
Well, I know it's because you're in the news. That's why.
Strategically placed flannel, though. That's very interesting.
Me Stark is building that storage box.
Nathan is a never nude. I know he wouldn't do that.
You only call when you want something out of me, you guys. Look at this.
We do.
Anyway, so Pav, the reason why we're talking is we want some tickets to the Dockers.
Well, the reason you're calling is, you're right. Now, lots of people think that they can do better than Anthony Hudson, Adam Papalia, Matthew Pavlich, and they're probably right about the last one. But this is your opportunity. So if you're a budding caller, a host, a boundary rider, an expert, you get an opportunity. This is awesome. So Fox have created this initiative with KO. They've been able to sign the likes of Sean Burgoyne, Tom Hawkins, Lee Matthews, Simo, Adam Simpson. Joining Fox next year, but this is your chance. So you could be a 12-year-old, you could be a 20-year-old, or you could be an 80-year-old. Doesn't matter. Age doesn't discriminate. This is your opportunity to come on from it's paid on-air role and mentorship alongside one of the experts for the first 8 rounds, minimum 8 rounds next year.
I'm going to apply to this because I saw that Dusty Martin's part of the team, and I know, whilst I don't have the catalogue of
medals and awards
and all that
things,
kind of stuff that he's got. But I tell you what, I'm sure I can say more than him.
I don't know. Have you heard you talk?
Shut up.
You couldn't think of the word for catalogue of medals.
Are you picking on someone else?
Mate, when we get into the zone of footy, the words just come to me. Because that's like you talking about the Big Bang Theory. I've got it.
You've got him covered, Shawnee. You've got Dusty covered. I don't think Dusty's going to be doing much except for just being Dusty and
he's going to be in the corner like doing one of those kids like drawings, the kids colouring in at McDonald's. Yeah, he just gets one of the placemats. It's pretty amazing. I do think there is a way we can make this better though, Pav, because we've covered commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about the people that are watching the game saying that they could play better? I would love to see a spot in each team won by a real person, the most mouthiest person that says that they can do it, and then they get put in the game, and then we have a special round with one dickhead in each round. That's been mouthing off about
target,
the game.
wouldn't they?
How good would that be, Sean? Now show us how it's done.
Yeah.
Join it.
Pav, what do you think?
Would be all for that. I mean, did Fox do the Recruit? Do you remember that show?
Yes.
Oh, yes. But they were people who could play football, though.
Were they? Okay, right.
Yeah,
they were the lounge chair critics.
Yeah.
Well, these lounge chair critics think they can play, Nathan. So I think you're right. Let's put their money where their mouth is.
It'd be the first game where their own team turns on the player, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I had the same idea when Ninja Warrior was on, because all these people go, oh, that's easy. It's like, okay, well, let's have the real person Ninja Warrior thing where you don't even make it onto the first jump.
No, I would love to see that. Hey, Mav, what else is going on in the sporting landscape for you at the moment? Are you getting ready for the tennis season?
Yeah, tennis season and cricket season. I'm actually going to be in Adelaide next week. I think when you guys have your last show, but I might speak to you from the Test. Of course, then the Australian Open early Jan. We'll be over there for that after some time on the Murray River with my family.
Oh, how lovely!
Hey, Pav, I want to know. You do so many different sports nowadays. What is the nicest one for you, like conditions-wise, food-wise? What's the nicest one for you to cover? And you go, oh, great. So it's
can't wait for that. This is going to be a good one.
That's the best one.
Oh, it's hard to go past equestrian at Chateau de Versailles.
Exactly.
I just wanted to say that.
We know.
That's a good question. I think, Kath Lachlan was the one that actually brought some of the somehow the Kath Lachlan effect. She got us better food as commentators at Optus during this season.
Really?
So
what a fighter for justice.
So what did you got? You went from what to what in the food world? What was it?
Well, we went from basically there was nothing.
Yeah.
So anything was an improvement up until every now and then there'd be like a little beef curry that would come through with some rice. Or,
curry in a hurry.
Yeah, that's it. Well, at half time is when the party pies and the sausage rolls come out, and I can tell you it is like seagulls on a chip.
I can imagine.
You know what? I think that to answer you, so the Australian Open probably got the best setup because
I thought it'd be the tennis.
At Melbourne Park there, you've got. Proper broadcast facilities they've built over the last 5 or 6 years. Beautiful studios.
Scones.
And you do actually feel like you're a part of the action because they have these open air, sort of windows where, people, you hear popping of champagne bottles every 3 seconds, people having a good time. So that's probably the best setup there.
I mean, that time you met Roger Federer and
Lauren was cuddling up to Roger.
Yeah, Lauren
was cuddling up to me.
But I mean, that's a moment in time where you're happy with your wife cuddling up to another man because you're like,
it's Roger.
I'm close to Roger.
Exactly.
If I cuddle Lauren hard tonight,
I just hope Roger doesn't do what his name says.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
Look, it's not tough when you live alone. Or, for lots of people, their partner might work away and so they have to do things on their own.
Now, so talk to me about some of the Alone franchises. We've got, what have we had? Alone Antarctica, was that one?
No. There was, the Australian one was, I think they've done one in the Arctic. They've done the Australian one in Tasmania and they did one in New Zealand as well.
They've never done one in the suburbs.
In the burbs,
That's right, everyone. This is Alone in the suburbs.
I'll tell you what, we heard some harrowing stories from you, Nathan, first of all, and then you, Natalie. That was amazing. I can't believe we'd be able to top those ones.
Shona is in Huntingdale. Good morning, Shona.
Good morning.
Hey, Shona. So, Shona, are you a loner?
Yes.
Yep.
Sometimes, most of the time,
We're alone.
Yep, we get it. Okay, so have you had to do something that everybody says is a job for more than one person, but you had to do it yourself?
I did. I probably didn't have to. I chose to, but I had a patrol and I wanted to change the bull bar, so I took the old bull bar off on my own.
Yes.
And then I put my new bull bar on my own. Yes. So I was under the car with my feet pushing the bull bar up, holding it in place.
Because when you need someone to hold something up,
bull bar.
Yes.
No, but when you need someone to hold someone up, this is exactly. Keep going, Shona.
Bull bar, Nathan.
Yes. I know, but you need to do it, Shona. It has to get done, Shona. Keep going. Show him what we put up with.
Well, I had to have it done. And then I was thinking, hang on, it might fall down and crush me and then no one will be able to save me. So
Yes.
I had two little outdoor chairs sort of underneath just to make sure it would catch it if it fell. But then, I'm holding it in place and then I couldn't quite reach the tools. So I'm stretching and it was hell, but it got done. And
Can I tell you, Shona, I am right with
gold.
you there. So when I was building my box, but it's the same thing. I'm holding something up, something's balancing and it's not holding, and then the screwdriver's over there. And then you're like, and then you have to put it all down. I relate to every part of that.
That is amazing. Hats
You're a
off to you,
hero,
Shona.
A true
bar.
hero.
She could have died, Sean.
She could have died.
Yeah.
Body on the line.
Yeah, don't think we put up with enough.
Thanks, Shona. Christy is in Mandurah. Hello.
Just want to point out that I'm not alone anymore. I actually have a man that
hang up on us, Sam.
How did that happen?
He puts all the things together for me now. So
righto.
that's okay.
Righto.
Okay, whatever lotto winner.
Rub it in.
God, how's
But
that,
I
Natalie?
was alone.
Yeah.
I was alone. So I had to go and get a queen-size mattress off Marketplace and I've rocked up with a Captiva. Yes. And mind you, it's got the old Captiva. And the dude was like, this is not going to work. And I was like, well, it has to, mate. So I've honestly, it took me about 20 minutes trying to fold every corner in. It's got springs in it.
Did you try to put it
in the car? So you put the seats down in the back?
You stuffed it in the car?
I did.
Queen-size mattress
Did it go
in
over
a
the
spring
top
mattress.
of your head that you, as the driver? Captiva is a 7-seaters. So you put it all
and
down.
This was it wasn't the best mattress, so I had someone's funky stuff happening on my head.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. So we got it in. I got it in, and then I had to get it out.
By yourself?
And then I had to get it up 2 flights of stairs, and I reckon maybe 4 or 5 of my other personalities came out.
They all gave you a hand, so that's nice.
I feel sorry for my neighbour, Marnie Osher, who we going,
Yes, yeah.
So I wasn't really alone. The other personalities came out, but I was pushing it from the bottom, then having to pull it up from the top.
Yes.
And then, because I'm a big girl, so I'm having to try to squeeze past the mattress as well. I felt like I was possessed by a demon or something, but we got it done.
You got it done.
Everybody knows the feeling of moving a mattress. It's so bloody difficult.
Christy, can you tell us about the the post-alone life? Now you're with a partner that you keep rubbing in our faces.
You're giving us hope, obviously.
How much easier is it to do things now when you're living with someone?
It's really nice.
Shut up, Christy.
I know, but I've always been, even now, I'm still fiercely independent. So
shut your dumb mouth, Christy.
Right? And I'll still have tanties. And then he's like, you don't have to do it by yourself, babe. I'm
I
like,
hope he's listening.
Yeah.
Hey, mate, if she has a tanty again, just come over and meet me and Natalie's single. We'll appreciate everything you do.
But then I can rent him out to other people as well to put
That's great.
There you go. I've heard of that. Rent boys.
You know, we share the load.
Yeah, you share the load, Sean.
Never
Rent
say
boys
that
do that
sentence
too.
again. Thank you, Christy. And well done you for picking up a fella.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
The astronauts are in the house, everybody. Welcome back to our old friend, Catherine Bennell Pegg.
Hey, Peggy.
And you've brought a friend with you. Do you want to introduce her, Catherine?
I've brought the amazing Shauna Panja. Shauna is absolutely incredible. We met 15 years ago as students at NASA.
At NASA High.
And flew on together.
That's like Sweet Valley, Nate.
So you were drawn to each other at NASA High, as I call it. Yeah.
That's right. So, we went on a zero-G plane together, and since we've both been writing our own stories on our way to space, and it's so wonderful to have met again today here in Perth.
Oh my
Were
God.
you studying different parts or in different sections of NASA when you were both there at the same time?
Yeah, so I was there for a summer program all about leveraging technology to do big things for humanity and address grand challenges. NASA. Catherine was there for the International Space University's summer program, but we spent a lot of time together, and it was like Disneyland for nerds, essentially.
Oh, yeah, it would be unbelievable.
I'd love to do it, but you need math, don't you? You really do need math.
Maths is an important tool, but actually to work in space, there's jobs not just in STEM fields, but any kind of job you put the word space in front of can be a job. We need
Space hairdresser,
experts,
space plumber.
Absolutely. There's no gym fix the space station.
Imagine the rate.
Space Jim's mowing.
Imagine the rate. Shaun, I wanted to ask you, being a physician and being involved in space, I did see a thing where you mentioned the fact that space essentially is out there to kill you. So being a physician is a very important role, being on a space station or anywhere of that. So what kind of things would you have to do to be able to help people?
Well, she'd need to box the Panadol Rapid.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Number one.
absolutely. So, essentially, if you take nothing else away from space, is that space is trying to kill you. And every aspect of the spaceflight environment, from the increased radiation to the weightlessness, has an impact on the body.
Yes.
And so one of the famous bits of trivia is that because your bones lose density and your muscles lose mass.
And you get shorter. No, taller?
Yeah.
You get taller?
You can get taller because your spine decompresses. And so astronauts up on the station famously have to work out for 2 hours a day doing aerobic and resistive exercise 6 days a week. So if you don't like working out but you want to go to space, better start changing those habits now.
Yeah, right.
So, what can you bench in space?
Is it easier or harder?
Just a couple of cars.
I mean, if you're simply trying to bench, weight, then you can say to someone you bench 600.
Nice.
That's fine. The way they do it in space is they have the advanced resistive exercise device, the AREDS device. So it's based on hydraulics and resistance. So you can actually lift weights in air quotes in space.
So you're talking about the body, right, in space, and there's a joke that ever since we were in primary school was, what's the definition of gross farting in the spacesuit? So, can you fart in space? And if so, if you fart in a spacesuit, is it gross? Go.
Well, yes, you can. Absolutely.
You can? I didn't know.
Otherwise, we'd, blow up.
I don't know.
Yes. But in a spacesuit, there's lots of air filtration, fortunately. Also on the space station, there's airflow. Otherwise, you'd be surrounded in a gas bubble of your own making.
Yeah, right.
So it's a bit like being in a plane.
Indeed.
Yeah.
On the fart thing, you you pricked my ears, but you can't have fizzy drinks in space because you can't burp. That's right.
That's correct, which is kind of a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Anyone who knows me knows I'm addicted to sparkling water and soda, but if that's what it takes to get to space, I'm willing to take one for the team
so
here.
You can't pack a soda stream.
What about the possibility of a legit medical emergency, like somebody on the space station, for example, might need
actual surgery,
an appendectomy, or there's some sort of medical emergency. Is it possible to do surgery up there?
So one of my favorite bits of space trivia is that they have done surgery in space before.
Yes.
It was on baby mice.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the earlier shuttle experiments, they looked at doing discectomy, so spinal cord surgery on these baby mice. And so basically Velcro is your friend.
Yeah.
You Velcro your tools down so they're not flying everywhere, so it's not a mess.
Yes.
And then the physics of blood in space is such that it more glues to itself rather than goes everywhere. So you simply take your gauze and flick it away.
Is there up there, do they have general anaesthetic, and is that sent up there just in case?
There is an advanced life support respiratory pack.
Yeah, right.
So if they do need to manage an airway in space, that capability exists. They have 24/7 coverage from the flight surgeons on Earth. So there's a crew medical officer that also has training, and there's all of these medical supply kits. There's even a defibrillator on station.
Yep. Okay.
Never been used, luckily.
Great. Yeah, I know. I'll be worried about the electrics.
I mean, obviously they're sending physically fit and able people up there, but you never know. Things can happen.
But
right?
also, say, can there be an operation that can't be done? Right, so you can't do the procedure, and they have to get them back to Earth, and you got to wait for a shuttle to come. What happens in that scenario?
I mean, a lot of the scenarios where there might be an emergency, they prefer to bring you back to ground in low Earth orbit on the space station. It can often be faster to get you back.
So,
but what about those two that are stuck up there?
What about them? There's a bus stop schedule in effect to the space station. Every 3 months or more, there's usually a vehicle going up, but it's all tightly scheduled. So the two astronauts up there that stayed longer than they thought, they could come back if we had to bring them back.
So there is an emergency one ready to go. There's an emergency
there's
Uber
always
that you call mum and dad.
There's enough seats for everyone to come back.
So you ring the ambulance, and the ambulance shuttle goes and gets you.
Absolutely. So for example, for appendicitis, if you get appendicitis up there, the plan is you give people antibiotics and bring them back. It's your first.
I'd love to see the ambulance shuttle going up there.
Yes,
going up there, and then it's got
this
light going on, and then the satellites move out of the way. But the blinkers on.
Shauna, can you tell me about the dangers of space dust or moon dust? Because that's one of the big deals up there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're thinking about the further missions, and this is really timely because there are plans to send astronauts to the moon, including the first woman and first person of color to the moon, starting with the Artemis missions. And so we know from the Apollo missions that lunar dust is a very potent eye, skin, and respiratory irritant. So it's like fine talc powder. It gets everywhere.
Yeah,
right. So for anyone who says that we faked the moon landing, we put a lot of effort into generating those thousands of pages of biomedical documentation around it. And so now the question is, is that based on that one landing site from the Apollo missions? What does the lunar dust toxicity look like at the South Pole? How do we mitigate for it? How do we make spacesuits that are more repellent to this dust? So these are all considerations that the next generation of astronauts need to think about.
I think about having about 100 Dyson stick vacuum cleaners just surrounding the Yeah, can you just suck it in like dust?
There's lots of cool proposals out there to think about how we get rid of the dust. So it does have an ionic charge. So thinking about creating a repellent charge to get rid of it, to send it the other way.
That's
a microfiber cloth.
Get it right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just so in. I feel like I'm on Voyager right now with Janeway.
This is one of the things Australia is really good at. From our mining and resources sector, we're good at handling dusty environments.
Really?
So when we're sending our rover up there within the decade, Rover, it's called, we'll be looking at the dust as one of the things we're trying to understand up there.
We have with us Catherine Bennell-Pegg and Dr. Shauna Pandya. Shauna, can we just go through some of your... We've got the list of your certifications. So this is what you're certified in. Solo skydiving, advanced open water dry suit, nitrox and rescue diving.
I've done that.
You're working towards your private pilot's license. You can speak English, French, Gujarati, and you dabble in some Spanish and Russian. You sing, you play the piano, and you hold, this is my favourite, a black belt in Taekwondo, and you've trained in Muay Thai in Thailand, and where you won a fight as well.
Now, look, a lot of people are saying that's a lot,
Overachiever.
but I have to say there's one thing missing, and that is you don't speak Klingon. Why?
I just haven't got to that part of the astronaut curriculum yet.
Okay.
I'm sure, it's imminent.
Hey, Catherine, off air before when the song was playing, you mentioned G-force training. That always is a thing that fascinates me because we see in, the fighter pilots and they're just going up and doing all that stuff. But you've got to be able to take a certain amount of G-forces when you're doing that stuff. Can you tell us what kind of training that is and what level you can get up to in terms of
kind of two
force?
kinds of G-force training. The one is the zero-G plane flights, and the other is where we get spun up in a centrifuge to feel like the G-forces of launch and re-entry.
Yeah.
And we went on this centrifuge in the Netherlands, and we spun up to 6G, going through the launch and re-entry profiles for the two main kinds of vehicles that people go up in today. And it was really amazing. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. But for pilots, when you see them, they feel the G-force like head to foot. That's why you often see their faces contort and pass out. For astronauts, we actually feel it front to back. It's like having 5 of you sit on your chest.
Right.
So you have
sorry,
to
how
breathe
can
a
you
bit
smile?
different.
I know I jumped in there, but how can you smile and think that's fun?
It's so fun.
Sean can't go on a roller.
I thought you were asking the question of whether you can smile in space.
You've got an elephant sitting on your chest.
Basically, but the thing is, the capsule we're in was dark, and I mean, aside from you didn't have the vibrations and the sound of launch, but you definitely could imagine yourself going through the launch and re-entry in real time. And for all of us on the training, it was our dream, and it was just the closest we got to physically to feeling that. It was amazing.
So I can help you out with this. So I've done the same training. I did it in the US, and it really does feel like there's an elephant sitting on your chest, but there is a specific way you get around it, and it's called pursed lip breathing. So if you want to train like astronauts, you can do it here in the studio. So just pretend you're breathing through a straw and just breathe. I'm sure this is riveting radio for everyone.
No. Yes. And what's that doing?
That. Yeah, so this is helping you distribute, like get in the airflow and distribute it to your lungs, even with all of those G-forces sitting on your chest.
If on Earth an elephant actually sits on your chest, will this work?
There's only one way to test that.
Let's get one in. Do astronauts miss gravity?
Well, when they come back, they miss having lack of gravity. It's common for astronauts when they come back to, put a glass of water in the air and let go.
They get the gravity blues.
And if you want to embarrass a recently returned astronaut, throw them something to catch because they cannot catch because they're used to things traveling in straight lines, right? Instead of a parabolic.
And also, if you're going to throw something to someone, it takes a minute to get to you.
Yeah.
Because if you ditch something in space, if you ditch a baseball, it slows down straight away, doesn't it?
No, it still moves.
Oh, really?
It just doesn't have like the arc of falling to the ground in the way that you can see.
So
so the knuckleball won't work.
Yeah, it would definitely hurt.
Okay, great.
Good to know.
Astronauts bump their heads a lot when they push off one side of the space station to move around. You have to be careful not to go too fast, otherwise you might whack your head on the other side. And that's something that Shauna and I practiced together once on a zero-G flight. When you're first in one of these vomit comets and the floor falls away, you realise really fast you shouldn't jump, right? And you have this urge to swim and kick, and you have to really control that because you move around like a ping pong ball if you don't do slow, controlled movements.
Right. The rookie move for anyone who's never flown zero-G is to just undo their seatbelts and launch themselves, and then they quickly realize there's a ceiling there when their head meets it. So I've done 11 parabolic flights now for research flights, and you realize that the way to move around is just using finger touch to kind of just gracefully.
So like you're Superman, you're controlling your powers.
So you're gliding.
Literally, it's such a freeing experience, and you also get to use this incredible environment to do some pretty cool science too.
And it's been a joy meeting you, Shauna. And Catherine, you're welcome back. As you know, you're the fourth member of our team now, so you're welcome anytime.
And as always, to infinity and beyond.
Thanks, Buzz.
Thank you.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.